everyone, this is Huafang Li again. In this short video, we are going to talk about training and development in the public sector. So we talked about the difference between hiring from outside. Now we are going to talk about training and development in-house. Well, of course, they are not mutually exclusive depending on different needs, but this short video we are going to focus on training and development. So what is training and development? Why training matters, and how to implement a training program. These are the three topics we are going to cover in this video. So what is training exactly? Two keywords: one, system; two, process. So training is a system, so it requires the highest level and down to the frontline workers. And also, a successful training is not a one-time event, but rather an interactive and iterative, like repeated process, right? That considers the elements leading up to training as well as important factors after training. So before, during, and after trainings, and also consider the whole system rather than one particular level. So why training matters? Because it continues the learning and skill development for all the trainees, and also allows public organizations to adapt, compete, excel, innovate, produce, be safe, improve service delivery, and reach their noble goals. Okay, so that's from the mission or the goals of training, we understand training is important. But does training work? In general, well-designed training programs provide benefits to individuals, teams, organizations, and the whole society. And also, training can be most beneficial where lessons learned from training experiences can be applied to the design and delivery of future training programs. Right, so you apply best practice learned from the training and then applied in the future. So from these meta-analysis, we also understand that different types of training also work. All right, so for example, you have organizational training, managerial training, team training, as well as behavioral model training, right? So all these different types of training have significant positive effects on the performance at different level, like individual, team, organization, etc. Okay, as we already know, we need to understand training is a process. So we divide the training into before, during the training, and after the training. Okay, so here summarizes the evidence-based recommendations and some best practices for maximizing training effectiveness. So before training, we need to conduct training needs analysis, like whether or not it's needed and what type of training is needed, and also prepare a learning environment. You need to schedule accordingly, notify employees about the training and attendance policy, and also somehow prepare the supervisors and the leaders be ready for training. Right? You need their support to create a learning organization as a whole. And during the training, you need to enable right trainee mindset. Right? Let them build their self-efficacy and promote a learning orientation, boost motivation, motivate them to learn. And follow appropriate instructional principle and use technology wisely, right? After training, we need to ensure the training deliveries, right? Remove the obstacles to apply some best practices, and also provide tools, advice for supervisors, and encourage the use of debriefs and as a reinforcement, continue and repeatedly remind them some of the best practices that they can use to enhance their skills and also help the organization to achieve their goals. And of course, we needed to evaluate whether or not a training is effective. So you specify the purpose of the training and consider evaluation the training program at multiple levels from the front line to the top executives, and also precisely link to training needs, right? So clearly define the goals, the purpose, and then create criteria to measure training effectiveness, and then we will be able to better understand how to improve training in the future. All right, so the other topic related to this is we are going to develop first line supervisors to be leaders of the organizations. So the first question is why frontline supervisors, right? Because if we decide to train and develop from inside, then frontline supervisors are usually a best pool of candidates for future organizational leaders because they have direct contacts with public employees, and they also contact with citizens in some of the cases, and they impact the day-to-day performance more than managers at other levels. So that's why frontline supervisors are our target. And then how, right? We are going to focus on two large categories of skill sets. The harder one is more technical professional. That's made them join specific government agencies or nonprofit organizations. But we also need some soft and general human skills like communication, listening, and convey clearly, in the team building, conflict resolution, etc. Right? So these are all like soft skills. And in this graph, it shows at which level the role of different levels of leaders, and also the core leadership competence that they need to possess. So on the horizontal level, that's the different hierarchicals you have from like a team project manager and to supervisor to managers and to executives. And then vertically, you also from like very bottom is managing yourself, then managing projects, managing more people, and if you are a manager, then you also need to manage programs, etc. And become an executive leader, then you need to lead the whole organization, right? So the very bottom lists the core leadership competence you need to have, like integrity, interpersonal skills, flexibility, communication skills, be resilient, persistent, problem solving, continual learning, and etc. All right, so these are the core competencies. All right, so how exactly can we develop first-line supervisors to be leaders? Here are some methods, right? Classroom education and training, performance feedback from supervisors as well as subordinates. Sometimes we even get opinions from clients as well, right? And developmental relationships, such as mentoring and assigning them challenging job tasks to see how well they perform. All right, but in addition to this, right, organizationally, you need to create an environment. You need to create an environment to prepare first-line supervisors to be the leaders. So you need to create a government-wide supervisory corps that would require federal managers to demonstrate a certain leadership competence and mandate leadership training for all supervisors, but not just the best and the brightest, right? Because you might need different people for different jobs in the future and to fill different leadership roles, and also require the use of metrics to assess program impact and hold executives accountable for developing their subordinates. You can say we need to also evaluate those executives based on one particular aspect, especially you incorporate this one aspect that's developing their subordinates, support their subordinates, promote their subordinates to be higher level leaders as part of the executive's performance. All right, so all in all, we said many things, but does training and development work? The result is actually promising. So based on this study, we learned that leadership training and development programs are worthwhile investments for public organizations. And the leadership training programs that combine different types of training and development forms, like coaching, classroom and education, feedback, performance feedback, and experiential learning, assigning them challenging tasks, etc., can improve the performance of leaders. And also, such multi-phased training programs can result in higher performance for the whole organization. All right, that will be all for this short video. Thank you very much.